And make no mistake, this is a skill. It takes practice. It's awareness. It takes a willingness to stop blaming your emotions and start owning them. You've got to stop saying, I'm just an anxious person, or I'm always angry, or I can't help it. That's a lie you've rehearsed so many times. You've started to believe it, but that's not you. But that's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. You break them by interrupting the cycle. You break them by getting into a new state, by shifting your focus, by deciding this is not how my story ends. I want you to remember something. The emotional state you live in most often becomes your identity. If you constantly live in stress, in doubt, in overwhelm, you'll begin to see yourself as someone who is always stressed, always doubting, always overwhelmed. And that becomes your default operating system. But what if you trained yourself to live in certainty, in gratitude, in power? What if you decided that no matter what life throws at you, you're going to rise with intensity, with purpose, with emotional clarity? Because here's the truth: success doesn't belong to the smartest. It doesn't belong to the most gifted. It belongs to the ones who have learned their energy to shift from fear to faith, from scarcity to abundance, from victim-victor. That's the person who wins. That's the person who commands the room, who inspires others, who walks through storms and doesn't flinch. So decide right now, not someday, right? That you will no longer let your emotions control you. You will control your state. You will train it, prime it, command it. Because when you do, nothing outside of you can take away what's inside you. That's when you become unstoppable. Willpower is not enough. If you're depending on willpower to get you through every challenge, to push past every obstacle, to keep grinding day after day, you're going to burn out. Willpower is like a battery. It drains. It weakens. It fades under pressure. But vision is like a magnet. It pulls you. It doesn't run on force. It runs on purpose. And when you connect to a vision that's bigger than your excuses, your fear, or your fatigue, that's when you become unstoppable. Too many people try to push themselves through life with raw effort, and they wonder why they always feel exhausted. They wake up uninspired. They go through the motions. They try to force productivity, and they beat themselves up when they fall short. But the problem isn't effort, it's alignment. They're not pulled by anything meaningful. They're not connected to a vision that sets their soul on fire. And without vision, even the strongest habits collapse. Even the most disciplined person loses direction. But when your vision is clear, you don't need to be pushed. You move because you must. Because something inside you knows you were made for more. Your vision is not just a dream. It's not just a goal on a piece of paper. It's a compass. It's your internal GPS. It tells you what to say yes to, what to say no to, what to surround yourself with, what to fight for. It clarifies your decisions. It gives your pain a purpose. Without it, pain feels random. Life feels heavy. But with it, every setback becomes part of the strategy. Every delay becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes feedback. That's what vision gives you, a reason to keep going when nothing else makes sense. And let me tell you something powerful. Your vision doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be fully mapped out. It just has to be real to you. It has to be so compelling, so emotionally charged that it moves you beyond logic. Logic says, slow down, be realistic. Vision says, let's go. We're not here to play small. Logic says, protect yourself, play it safe. Vision says, risk it, bet on yourself. This is worth it. Logic will always argue for your limitations. Vision will always speak to your potential. Now here's the secret: vision isn't discovered, it's decided. You don't wait around for clarity to hit you like a lightning bolt. You create clarity by taking action, by getting quiet, by asking yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? Who do I want to become? Who do I legacy do I want to leave behind? And then you write it down. You speak it daily. You see it. You breathe it. You obsess over it. Because repetition creates belief, and belief fuels action. And when belief and vision lock arms, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not rejection, not failure, nothing. But you've got to protect it. You've got to fight for it, because life will try to distract you. The world will try to shrink your vision to fit its comfort zone. People will project their limits onto you. Don't let them. This is your life, your calling, your mission. And it's not their job to see it, it's yours. You were given that vision for a reason. You've got to hold it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your energy, your growth, your impact, it all flows from that vision. And when you hit the wall, and you will, don't ask, do I have the strength? Ask, am I still connected to my why? Because when your why is strong enough, you'll find the how. When your vision is deep enough, the pain becomes fuel. The fatigue becomes temporary. The doubt becomes silence. The voice in your head that says, I can't, gets drowned out by the roar of purpose that says, watch me. So don't just build discipline, build direction. Don't just train your habits. Train your heart to stay focused on what matters most. Let your vision become so magnetic that it lifts you out of every setback, pulls you through every storm, and carries you into a future you once only imagined. This is how you rise when others fall. This is how you break limits. This is how you become unstoppable, not by force, not by sheer will, but by connecting to something so powerful that quitting is no longer an option. Your vision is your power. Let it pull you. Before we go any further, I want you to stop whatever else you're doing and listen, because what I'm about to share could be the shift that finally changes your life. You're not here by accident. You're here because deep inside, something's telling you it's time for more, time to stop playing small, time to take back control. And if you've ever felt stuck, defeated, or like the world's winning, this message is your wake-up call. Because when you learn to train your mind, you don't just survive, you dominate. So stay with me. This could be the moment everything changes. Every tool you've ever used, every skill you've ever tried to master comes second to one thing, your mind. It's the origin of every decision, every breakthrough, and every failure. Your mind is the command center of your life. When it's sharp, you're unstoppable. When it's weak, you hesitate, you fear, you doubt. And in this life, hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. What most people don't understand is that the mind is a tool, a weapon if you sharpen it, a prison if you neglect it. If you don't train it, it will train you. If you don't control it, it will control you. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you consciously trained your thoughts the same way you train your body? When did you last put in the reps mentally? Feeding your mind power instead of poison, certainty instead of confusion, belief instead of fear. See, people are sleepwalking through life, letting their environment program their minds. They wake up, check their phone, scroll through fear, doubt, comparison, and distraction, and they wonder why they're anxious. They wonder why they feel stuck. I'll tell you why. Because they've handed their mind over to the world. And let me tell you something. If you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. But here's the truth, and I need you to hear me now. Your mind is programmable. You are not born with fear. You are not born with limitations. Those are learned, and if they're learned, they can be unlearned. You can choose new beliefs. You can train new patterns. You can hardwire courage, focus, confidence, hunger. But like anything powerful, it takes intentional effort. It's not a one-time decision. You don't wake up one morning mentally bulletproof. You become bulletproof by conditioning day in and day out. You've got to be obsessed with protecting the gates of your mind. Don't just feed it. You must fortify it. The people you admire, the champions, the leaders who keep showing up while others quit, they're not different from you. They've just taken their most powerful tool, their mind, and trained it like a warrior. They've learned to silence the inner critic. They've learned to turn fear into fuel. They've developed the discipline to speak to themselves in a language of power, not weakness. Because here's the key, the quality of your life is the quality of the conversations you have with yourself. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't rehearse failure in your head and expect to walk in confidence. You've got to plant the seeds of greatness in your mind every single day and then water them with repetition, with action, and with belief. Let me break it down for you. Everything starts with a thought. That thought becomes a feeling. That feeling becomes a decision. That decision becomes your life, but it all started with what you allowed in your mind. You allowed fear or you allowed faith. You allowed excuses or you allowed discipline. And that's the line that separates ordinary from extraordinary mindset. Most people are living at 40% of their potential because their mind is running an outdated script. They've never upgraded the software. But you're here because you're ready for more. You're here because you know deep down that greatness is already in you. You just need to unlock it. And that starts by owning your inner world. Take responsibility for what you focus on. Take control of your self-talk. Surround yourself with thoughts that build you, not break you. Get in the gym of the mind. Meditate, visualize, journal, speak it, breathe it, become it. Make it your mission to train your mind to work for you, not against you. Because when you master your mind, you master your emotions. And when you master your emotions, you master your decisions. And when you master your decisions, you master your destiny. So remember this, your mind is not your enemy. It is your most powerful ally. And when you learn to direct it with intention, with clarity, and with hunger, you become truly unstoppable. This is your power. This is your gift. Use it, train it, own it. Emotions are not random. Emotions are not weakness. Emotions are power, pure energy in motion. And the person who learns to command that energy becomes a force the world cannot ignore. Most people walk through life being ruled by their emotions instead of being fueled by them. They feel fear, so they freeze. They feel anger, so they explode. They feel doubt, so they quit. But emotions were never meant to be your master. They were meant to be your signal, your feedback system. They're telling you something, but you've got to learn to listen without letting them control the wheel. Listen to me. You can be the most talented, the most skilled, the most educated person in the room, but if you can't command your emotional state, you will lose to the person who can. You could have all the tools, all the strategy, all the potential, and still sabotage yourself because you didn't master the one thing that determines how you show up in every moment your state. When you're in a peak emotional state, when you're aligned, centered, locked in, you make powerful decisions. You take bold action. You walk into rooms differently. You attract different opportunities. But when you're in a low state, when you're drained, frustrated, you hesitate. You overthink, you shrink. So ask yourself, how often are you operating from a place of power? And how often are you just reacting? Here's what most people don't know. Your emotional state is not fixed. It's not just who you are. It's trainable. It's shiftable. You can prime it. You can change it in seconds. But you've got to get out of your head and into your body, because emotion lives in the body. The way you move, the way you breathe, the way you speak. Your physiology is the fastest way to shift your psychology. If you're feeling anxious, sit up, stand tall, move with energy, breathe deeper. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Don't wait for confidence. Condition it. You've got to own your state. You've got to decide every single day, no matter what happens around me, I control what happens within me. See, we all feel fear. We all get frustrated. We all experience doubt. But the difference between the weak and the unstoppable is that the unstoppable don't live there. They don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. They recognize the emotion. They extract the message, and then they move forward anyway. They use fear as fuel. They turn frustration into focus. They use rejection as redirection. It's not about feeling good all the time. It's about learning to function even when you don't. That's emotional mastery. That's what separates the peak performers from the people who stay stuck in their stories.